Hello, writers and readers. I'm Dane Andrews, and welcome to January's bonus episode of the Let's Write a Novel podcast. If you have listened to the first of the main episodes, you know that this year we're going through the 12 steps of writing and publishing your first novel. This, however, is the bonus episode, published on the last day of the month. Basically, these episodes are going to be more fun topics to help you get to know your host on a more personal level, because I know I like podcasts where I feel like the host is my friend and not just a random person on the internet, which I am. My hope for this series is to eventually bring on guests to discuss books or writing topics, but for the time being, it's just me, so I hope you like listening to my voice. What better way is there for us to get to know each other than to hear about the books that have changed my life? So this month and next month, I will be deep diving into two of my favorite books and how they affected my life. This month, we're going to discuss Red, White, and Royal Blue by Casey McQuiston. And next month, we'll discuss Flowers in the Attic by V.C. Andrews. Now, enough rumbling. Let's get into the episode. My first impression of Red, White, and Royal Blue came in 2018, around the time it was published. I had just subscribed to Audible, and I remember seeing the book pop up as a new recommendation. I clicked it because of the picture of a prince on the cover, and being a huge fan of the royal family, this piqued my interest. I read the synopsis, and while I thought it sounded good, I wasn't a fan of reading romance at the time, and decided not to purchase it. I read probably a dozen book synopsises a week, and most of them I forget 5 minutes after I choose not to read them. However, this title and cover stuck with me, and I would occasionally think about it from time to time, but never went back and read it. Then, in August of 2023, Prime Video released the movie version of the book. I decided to put it on in the background while I did other things. However, I was immediately hooked and couldn't take my eyes off the screen throughout the entirety of its runtime. And that night I went on Amazon and purchased the collector's edition hardback. I think I read the entire book in less than a week, which is rare for me because I'm a very slow reader and a very busy person. I don't find the time to sit down and read, but I made time for that book. I was completely in love. And here are just a few of the things I liked about the story. It has the best enemies to lovers storyline of any book I've ever read. Alex and Henry, just from the first chapter of Alex attending the royal wedding of Henry's brother, you get this sense of, we don't have to see all this flashback of what built up to them hating each other. We just know that there's so much tense situations going between, and it comes to a head when the wedding cake is knocked over, which is very funny and also a relatable situation, because I think we've all been in that, where we can't stand someone and something awkward happens like that brings the attention and links you together even though you don't want to. Also loved that they were both in such an odd situation. There's so many stories about two people in completely different situations that fall in love, but something about this story, it just really worked so much better. You have Alex, who is the son of the President of the United States, and Henry is the grandson of the Queen, or King in the movie, of England. While they're both in similar situations of being descendants of heads of their respective countries, they're also so different. Alex's family had to work their way from nothing, while Henry was born with a spoon in his mouth. Conflicts of the story are also perfect. You have all three of the major types of conflicts. You have person versus self, which is Henry being scared to come out. Person versus society. What will the world think of their relationship if it was revealed? And also person versus person, where Alex and Henry are versus Jeffrey Richards' campaign, who leaks the emails that get them exposed. Now, let's talk about how this story changed my life. Let's start with the big one. This story finally motivated me to come out of the closet. I'm a 25-year-old male who used to live in the middle of a cornfield in Ohio before moving to a big city. I was 23 when I read the book, and had known I was gay for 11 years at that point. When I was 12 was when I first started to come to the conclusion, but of course I was in denial and constantly told myself and prayed every night that I was straight. Then around 17, 18, I accepted the fact that I was gay, but I told myself I would never act on it and I would just be single my whole life. Then I read this book and realized that I want to love someone and I want someone to love me. And I deserve to have a relationship as much as the next person. 2 days after finishing the book, I put my two best friends into a group chat and ripped the Band-Aid off and finally admitted to someone other than myself that I was gay. I kept it between the three of us for a while, slowly coming out to other friends and family, but still remaining mainly in the closet. That was in August, and it was November before I built up the courage to come out to my parents. I don't know why I was worried, because they're both very supportive of me. And while I still haven't been in a relationship yet, I know that my Prince Charming, or maybe Prince Henry, is out there somewhere. Second way that this book has changed my life is that it motivated me to write a story which will hopefully become my debut novel in May. My project, which at the time is only being called H&H, I haven't released the title yet, it's a gay romance novel set in a small Midwestern town. I can't wait to share more about this story with you as we edge closer to the release date. But if you read it, you will see how Red, White, and Royal Blue inspired the story, and while also my own coming out story is weaving into this. I'm very excited, and I hope you guys get the chance to read it in May or whenever it gets released. I hope you enjoyed this bonus episode and liked hearing about my personal life. If you have any topics you would like me to discuss, please leave them in the comments below. Please check out the first episode of the How to Write a Novel podcast, which is available now. And stay tuned for social media handles, which are coming soon. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed, and make sure you subscribe so you don't miss any future episodes. As always, I'm Dane Andrews, and keep writing.